Storrs Center, located in Storrs, Connecticut, is a mixed-use development area promoting walkability and transit-oriented development. Being located right off the University of Connecticut campus on Route 195, it draws many people into the area, further increasing desirability to live in the center. What other kind of factors make Storrs Center such a desirable place to live, and does its design offer a model for future transit-oriented development sites?
My name is Cody Guilano. I live here in the Oaks Apartments. Campus is pretty accessible from here. It's with all modes of transportation. You know, sometimes I walk to campus in the morning to go to class. Usually, especially on my days by my 8 a.m. and it's really cold out, I'll try to catch a bus. The purple and silver lines pick me up literally right outside my window here, right downstairs, so that's pretty convenient. Or I could just walk like a football field down there to Moe's, and the orange line, you know, a whole bunch of other lines pick me up from there. But the buses are really convenient. Walking is pretty convenient too. I'll usually be either walking or also riding my bicycle through campus. And when I take my bike, that's probably the quickest mode of transportation actually, versus walking or even taking a bus. The parking garage, you do have to pay for a parking pass. You can sign up for it any month during your lease, but once you sign up, you can't unsign up from it. You have to pay $60 a month, and I never signed up for it. I parked at that Greek church right behind here because it was a little bit cheaper.
My name is Justine. I am a senior here at UConn, and I live in the Oaks at the building behind you. I use the UConn bus system every day to go to class, especially in the winter. In the summer, I do enjoy walking to campus, but in the winter, it's really brutal. So I get on Silver Line or Purple, which picks me up basically at my door. I don't really use my car when I'm here, which is great, so I don't blow through gas. The only time I really do use it is if I go see friends that are off campus that aren't on the bus line, so more like Willington as opposed to Carriage and all of that. I love walking. It's like my little city. I want it to be closer to campus. I used to live off campus, and leaving campus it would take you 20 minutes when I lived 2 miles, and I thought that was really annoying. So now it's great to just be able to, all my classes are done. I'd rather walk 15 minutes and sit in my car in traffic and stop and go, letting all the pedestrians go across.
My name's Cody. I have a car here on campus. I would say that I don't really use my car that often when I'm walking in class or whatnot. Since campus is right over here, it's a lot easier to get around. I think this is the coolest part of campus by far. There's so much activity going on. All the big buildings makes you feel like you're really in the city.
Here at the National Transportation Center, we have a lot of buses that run not only locally through Storrs, Willimantic, Wyndham, along with bus schedules for them. We also have buses that run across UConn, most often 15 minutes interchangeably. So anyone that needs to get around campus and has a stop that can get them closer to their destination between Purple and Silver runs directly through here. So it's a good way for residents of Storrs Center to know they can get far distances across campus using that bus. Do business within Storrs Center is worried about where they're going to find parking, for the first half hour they're here. So that's a great asset for everybody. So we have communication with Hertz rental cars. We usually have 2 of them over here in the last parking garage. Anyone sitting at this desk can help you organize getting a ride or purchasing a rental car to get yourself to Bradley Airport, JFK, LaGuardia, and Boston. Big community of people that live locally in Mansfield here that commute. We actually have commuter lockers upstairs with showers and bike storage for anyone that wants to avoid using a car but uses bicycles.
If one wants to minimize use of a car, automobile, we obviously need to have transit alternatives, although I think in many places, unless you're in a densely populated urban area like Manhattan, or New York City, or Boston, or Washington, or San Francisco, we need to have flexible transit. I think so. If we're going to have a sustainable transportation system, more dependent on transit, shared services, and so forth, I think it's going to require a high degree of flexibility, a degree of flexibility that's not been typical in the transit sector. Where you have free parking, whether it's at a shopping center, a retail center, or an office, people are going to drive. On the other hand, if parking is priced, if you make it more difficult for people to drive, in this case through parking, that will also have the effect of shifting people to a more sustainable form of transportation. But there has to be an alternative. That alternative needs to be flexible and customer oriented, which it's not. So you need both sides of this equation, if I can put it that way. Generally speaking, that is not scheduled fixed route systems. That may be around the University of Connecticut, and I know there are a lot of shuttles moving around the university where they're heavily used, I presume. So kind of fixed routes may make sense in an area that's densely populated, if you will. But if you're talking about moving people from low-density suburbs to a sports center, let's say, you have to have a transit or shared ride system that goes to where people are and brings them to the locus of activity. Generally speaking, we continue to have kind of severe weakness in the planning area, certainly the transportation planning area. We don't make the best decisions about how to invest limited or constrained resources. What kinds of projects will really make the most difference, whether we're talking about economic development or in job creation or environmental sustainability or connecting isolated communities. We don't really maximize the effectiveness of transportation planning and investment. And I think that's a huge need, let alone integrating kind of transportation investment with land use, other forms of infrastructure investment. Certainly in Connecticut, there are very few that really can exercise that influence in a way so you have a coherent kind of land use pattern and pattern of urban growth and development that is matched to the investments that we're making in transportation and other infrastructure.
Storrs Center reflects all of these characteristics and has the potential to be an integrated system of land use and transportation. Through ongoing planning and construction in the future, Storrs Center will be a model for transit-oriented development.